Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're going to be continuing with the halachot. This is the halachot of Pirkei Avot, where it says, the Rambam comes and he says as follows. This is in Hilchot Talmud Torah Perek Daled Halacha Aleph. He says, "Harav she'eno olech b'derech tova af al pi shechacham gadol hu v'chol ha'am tzrichim lo en mitlamdin mimenu ad shuvo lemutav," which means that if it's going to be that you have a rabbi that he's very, very smart and a lot of people they need him, but his actions are not apropos, so therefore you're not allowed to learn from him until he's going to be chozer b'tshuva. Shneimar, but it says in pasuk, "Yisiftecho en yishmeru dat v'torah yivakshu mipiu ki malach Hashem tzavakot hu." So Chachamim come and say, "Marav domeh lemalach Hashem tzavakot." So then to Torah yivakshu mipiu, then you're going to ask him from Torah. But if not, then you're not going to come and ask him Torah. V'chol ze afilu shelomed divrei Torah. So this is even if he's going to teach you Torah. So according to this, it comes out, Kol sheken כשאין הדברים דברי תורה למשל חוכמות העולם שיש לומר שאין ללמדם. Let's say right now we're not talking about Torah. We're talking about you're going to learn other things, whether it's secular things. So then all the more so that you're not going to come and you're going to learn from this person. So the Shuta Rivash comes and he brings down what the Negid Rabbi Shmuel ben Chofni asked Rabbeinu Hai Gaon. אם מותר ללמוד חוכמות חיצוניות. Is he allowed to learn different professions, different wisdoms? So he answered him and he says like this, fixing ourselves is only dependent upon learning the Torah, whether it's going to be Mishnah and Talmud, but it's going to help for himself and for other people as well. So if you're going to come and start only focusing on the secular things, you're not going to be able to learn Torah, you're not going to fix yourself. ומזאת העשרה יארע לאדם שישבש דעתו עד שלא יחוש עזיבת התפילה, ורק אלה שימסרו עצמם יותר ביראת שמיים ינהיג את כל ההמון לאחרית טובה בלי פקפוק ולא ישימו שום ספק מהקדוש ברוך הוא. So he comes and he says the only way to come closer to Hashem is only through the חוכמת Torah. That's the only way to do it. ואם יאמרו לך מתעסקים באותן החוכמות כדרכם סולה וישיגו בזה ידיעת הבורא, לא טובה להם. He comes and he says, what happens if a person is going to tell you, what? I can learn science, I can learn everything, and I still see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he says, don't pay attention to them. He says, that which the Rambam comes and he knew all the chokhmot was only after he learned the entire Torah, whether it's going to be the halachot, agadot, sifra, sifri, bavli, Yerushalmi, right? Verak bichte listor lashiv lidera pikoros. And only to know what to answer the pikoros, then he came and he learned everything else. And that's also brought down in Shulchan Aruch. In Yoreh De'ah Siman Resh Mem Vav Siv Daled it says, אין לאדם ללמוד כי מקרא משנה גמרא פוסקים, right, נמשכים אחריהם, ובזה יקנה העולם הזה והעולם הבא. אבל לא בלימוד שאר החוכמות. But then he says, I mean, basically a person has to learn only the Torah, but not other things. But then he says, nevertheless, it's going to be permitted באקראי בשאר חוכמות, ובלבד שלא ייסעו בספרי מינים. You're allowed to learn other subjects, but it cannot come from a heresy. So you cannot learn the Sefarim that have a lot of heresy inside of them. Now, obviously, we're not talking about, right, the permission of learning Chokhmot HaGoyim, but rather we're talking about other Chokhmot in other things. For example, Cheshbon, Tchuna, whether we're talking about mathematics and other things. But the Shevet HaLevi comes and he says, you're not allowed to learn Chokhmat Ivanit, even if it's not going to be, right, Keneged the Torah. He says, why? Because it comes and it draws people, the Greeks, right, their ideology, it draws people to Avodah Zarah, and therefore to heresy. So therefore you're not allowed to do that. So according to that, so nowadays we have the question, okay, fine. So are we allowed now to teach nowadays, whether it's all these other types of subjects, in the schools? That's where they come and they ask the question. So he comes and he says, the Kobet Shiurim, Rav Elchanan Wasserman, he comes and he says, אם הלימוד אינו מביא לקריאה בספרי לימוד לחבר לנוכרים, אלא הלומד חוכמה חיצונית לשם אומנות כדי להתפרנס ממנה, אין שום איסור בזה. He comes and he says this, if you're just learning the profession, just to have a parnasah, and it's not going to draw you forth to anything else, so for sure it's going to be permitted. And therefore he comes and he says, and it's even a mitzvah, אבל היכא שאין צריך לומדה, but if you don't have to learn it, but you just you want to learn these things. So then you have the isur of bitul Torah. So a person actually has to be careful, right, in this. And that's also what's brought down in the Gaon Vilna and the Shut Igrot Moshe. So therefore it's important for us just to understand that whenever it's going to be something for profession, and you're learning a chokhmah, but this chokhmah is going to bring you parnasah, so we're obligated to get parnasah, so therefore it's actually going to be permitted. But if you're just wasting your time, so therefore it actually becomes prohibited to do such a thing, because the only thing that brings us closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be Torah and the different facets of the Torah in itself.